It was a quiet night, and the streets were empty except for a lone food delivery driver driving through the neighborhood. The driver had been working late hours to make ends meet, and he was tired and hungry. He decided to make a quick stop at a fast food restaurant to grab a bite to eat before continuing his deliveries. As he entered the restaurant, he noticed that there was something strange about the staff. They all had a glazed look in their eyes, and they moved in slow, almost robotic, motions. But the driver shrugged it off, thinking it was just a long day taking its toll on them. He placed his order and waited for his food, but it took longer than usual. As he grew impatient, he noticed that the staff seemed to be preparing his order with an unusual amount of care and attention. They seemed to be taking much longer than necessary to prepare the food. Finally, the driver received his food and left the restaurant, feeling a bit unnerved. As he drove to his next delivery location, he started to feel dizzy and disoriented. His vision blurred, and he felt as if he was losing control of his body. Suddenly, he realized that something was terribly wrong. The food he had received was laced with a potent drug that was now affecting him. He tried to pull over and call for help, but his phone was dead, and he couldn't see clearly. The driver lost consciousness, and when he woke up, he found himself in a dark, unfamiliar place. He was tied up and surrounded by the same restaurant staff he had seen earlier, now with an even more disturbing appearance. They were wearing masks, and their movements were now jerky and erratic. As the driver struggled to free himself, he realized with horror that he was now a prisoner in a twisted game of torture and cannibalism. The restaurant staff had been luring unsuspecting delivery drivers and using them as their source of food, all under the guise of a simple food delivery service. The driver knew that his only chance of survival was to escape before he became the next meal. He struggled against his restraints, but it was too late. The restaurant staff closed in on him, and the last thing the driver heard was their maniacal laughter as they began to carve him up. It was a dark and stormy night, and Jennifer had just moved into a new apartment. She was hungry and too tired to cook, so she decided to order a pizza from the local pizzeria. After placing her order, she waited patiently for the delivery driver to arrive. When the driver finally arrived, he looked disheveled and exhausted. Jennifer didn't think much of it and handed over the money for the pizza. As she took the pizza box from the driver, she noticed a strange smell emanating from it. But she was too hungry to care and decided to eat the pizza anyway. As she took the first bite, she noticed that the pizza tasted strange. It was like nothing she had ever tasted before, and not in a good way. She started to feel sick and dizzy, and her vision became blurry. Suddenly, she realized that something was seriously wrong with the pizza. She tried to call the pizzeria, but her phone was dead. She stumbled to the bathroom and splashed water on her face, hoping to clear her head. But the more she tried to fight the feeling, the worse it got. As she stumbled back to the living room, she saw the pizza box on the table, and something caught her eye. There was a note attached to the box, and it read, "Enjoy the special ingredients we added just for you." Jennifer realized with horror that she had just eaten human flesh. The pizza she had ordered was made with the flesh of the previous tenant of her apartment, who had mysteriously disappeared. The pizzeria had been using the apartments in the area as a source of fresh meat for their pizzas. Jennifer tried to call for help, but it was too late. She started to feel weak and disoriented, and she knew that she didn't have much time left. The last thing she heard was the laughter of the pizzeria staff as they continued to prey on unsuspecting customers. It was a hot summer night, and Sarah had just finished a long shift at work. She was too tired to cook and decided to order some Chinese food for delivery. She placed her order and waited for the food to arrive. When the delivery driver arrived, he seemed polite and friendly. Sarah took the food and handed over the money, but as she closed the door, she noticed that the driver had left something behind. It was a small, strange-looking package that she didn't remember seeing before. Curiosity got the best of her, and she opened the package. Inside was a small, shiny object that resembled a tooth. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine, but she dismissed it as her imagination. As she started to eat her food, she noticed that it tasted strange. It was like nothing she had ever tasted before, and it made her feel sick. Suddenly, she realized that the strange object in the package might have something to do with it. She tried to call the Chinese restaurant to ask about the object, but the phone line was dead. She decided to investigate further and searched online for any information about the object. What she found shocked her to the core. The object was a cursed tooth that had been stolen from an ancient temple in China. Legend had it that whoever possessed the tooth would be cursed with an insatiable hunger for human flesh. Sarah realized with horror that she had just eaten a meal prepared with human flesh. The Chinese restaurant had been using the cursed tooth to lure unsuspecting customers and turn them into cannibals. As the curse took hold of her, Sarah felt a primal urge to hunt for more human flesh. She knew that she had become a monster, but she couldn't control the hunger inside her. She had unwittingly become a pawn in a twisted game of horror, all because of a simple food delivery.